Today I am so much pumped up to show you one of the most trickiest and hardest practice in Photoshop, and that is cutting out hair, especially on a busy background. And of course, in this tutorial we shall cover that, and I will show you how to do this in very simple steps. So stick along up to the end of this video because I have an announcement to make. So without further ado, let's get started. Back in the magical world of Photoshop, and in case you want to download this image and follow along, find a link in the description where you can download this for free. So after you have downloaded your image, of course the first step is to separate your subject from the background, or basically you mask your subject out. So my friend, I will delete this because I am through with this. Let me just select this and this, then I will delete this, and I don't want even this mask, so I'll just delete it so that we start from scratch. Let me Control Z, let me hit Shift, then click here. Of course I needed that, so I can just flatten this image so that I have that. So when you will have opened your image, it will be this way, and then my design will start. So the first step we've said is you mask out your subject. And if you're using the recent versions of Photoshop, that is Photoshop CC 2020, Photoshop CC 2021, then you will command Photoshop to do for you that work. And of course, you will do it faster because Photoshop will use AI to help you figure out what subject you have in your image. So if you have Photoshop CC 2020 or CC 2021, so all you need to do is to come to this select, right, and click on subject. Alternatively, you can select any selection tool. For example, if I select this selection tool, so I can just pick this selection tool. If I select that and come here, you see I have select subject. So you can do that and it will do for you. So I'll just come to select and then say subject, just like that, and then I will allow Photoshop to figure out what the subject is, and it will render out and make a selection of my subject. So let's just give it some few moments, it will be done. If you are new to this YouTube channel, my name is Kazungu Duncan. I am the founder and CEO of Ero Productions, and on this channel I offer tutorials in Photoshop and related subjects. So in case you are interested in my overall content, please feel very free to subscribe, and my friend, ring that bell so that you do not miss any future tips, tricks or tutorials. So my friend, Photoshop has done us a good job, though it is not perfect because you can see it has not considered this light, and some other parts. So we shall fix this with a secondary tool. I can use the lasso tools to do this. So for example, I can just hit L on my keyboard to pick the lasso tool, then I can zoom in just like that. And I want to tell Photoshop, you know what, I want you to consider this light as part of my subject. So I will just hold Shift, then after I've held Shift, I'll just come here and make a selection just like this. I will follow this lining just like that. It's not a must to be perfect, but at least if you do this for Photoshop, it will know that, my friend, this was to be part of the selection, and then just release. So you see Photoshop has done a good job and it has considered that. So I can zoom in and tell Photoshop I don't want this to be part of this, so I'll just hold Alt, and then I'll just make a selection here so that I tell Photoshop, please remove this from the selection. So you will take your time, to figure out the right thing until you finish. So just give me some few moments so that I can tell Photoshop what to do. My friend, this should not be part of the selection. So I'll just select this, and ta-da, it has done us good. I can tell Photoshop also this part, this small part, I don't want it. I've gone extra. So let me just tell Photoshop I did a mistake here, please return that as a selection, just like that. It will take you a few moments. This is not perfect, so I'll just tell Photoshop consider adding this to the selection, just like that. So you will take your time to refine this, my friend. I am not interested in these other sections because, you know, my friend, I just, you know, want to have the hair. I was adding Ctrl-Z to undo that. I was to tell Photoshop to remove this part as a selection. So I'll just spend some few minutes to do this for you, but then I'm only interested in the hair part. But again, I can just show you, sorry, I was to say minus, and just the shortcut is you hold Alt, then you just draw with a lasso tool, and Photoshop will do for you that job. So I think I've done pretty good. Let me see. Okay, on this hair here, I can just now tell Photoshop, you know what, just remove this from the selection because it's not part of the selection. Just pick a random thing just like that and tell Photoshop, please remove that. So Photoshop will do that for me. And my friend, I guess I am good to go with this very selection. So after you've made your selection with your favorite selection tool, then you will hit, you will come here and click on this icon to make a mask, right? So after you've made a mask just like that, you see Photoshop has done maybe not a good job, a bad job, but then we shall just tell Photoshop what to do in a few. So I just hit Ctrl-0 to fit this to the canvas. And my friend, the next step to do is to go and tell Photoshop, you know what, once that mask has been selected, I want to select and refine it, right? So you can just double click on this very mask. If I double click here, it will tell me enter select mask, and I will just accept that. So if I click here, it will load for me the select mask, right? If I just hit cancel, I just want to show you another way. Another way is that once this mask has been selected, you will come to the properties, and in the properties you will say select and mask, right? Just like that. Alternatively, the third way, once this mask has been selected, you will come to select and then say select and mask. So there are so many ways of doing that, and I've just shown you the 3 ways. Now, once you are in this very properties, you will now want to choose the view. So if I just click here, we'll have different views. If you want it to be on white, and if you want it to be, for example, on matching or something, but I realized that overlay or the red color does me fine. So it depends with your image. Then I can play around with the opacity to just make sure that I'm seeing what I am doing. Then in case you're dealing with things like, you know, these edges, you will want now to use the global refinements to make sure that you have a smooth edge. So if I just increase the smooth, you know, the edges, if they are rugged or if they are not in good shape, the smooth will deal with that. Then I can just increase the feathering, and the feathering will also do us something fine. But in most cases, I usually use the minimum, you know, effect in the filter, and it does me good. So my friend, what we are interested in is this very hair. Remember that. So we need to focus on this very hair to just make this, you know, very fast. Now, once you are in this very properties, you will now realize there are some tools over here. So we shall use this second tool where we are going now to refine these edges for the hair. So what you do, you just click inside the hair and then drag outside and just tell Photoshop to do its thing. So you will just do this. This loads very slow because my computer is a bit slow, but then if you have a faster computer, it will truly load very fast. So you shall just do this until you finish the hair, so that Photoshop can figure out what kind of hair is here, and my friend, it will return that hair. So this is the only thing we need to do, but then you will allow my machine to load, and maybe I will fast forward here so that you, my friend, can now see what we have done. So it has finished processing, and you can see now it has selected the extra hair that we had lost after we masked out. So once you're done, you should make sure that your output settings are set to, let me just show you, where is it, output settings. You can check this decontaminate colors, but it's not a must. Then make sure that this is set to new layer with layer mask, so that it creates you a new layer. Then you will hit OK. So you'll find that it has created a new brand layer from the layer that we were working on. And you can see that it is not well, right? Because we have some color spilling and all that, and I don't like that. So the last step is to refine that, to do away with these extra colors that you're seeing here. So for example, if I just put here a white background, so I'll come to adjustment layers, then choose solid color, and then I will choose something like white and hit OK, just like that. Then I'll drag this and put it below this layer. So you can now see, yes, it has selected the hairs, but then look at this, I don't like this. So how can we fix that? We come to the third and last step. So make sure that this, mask is selected, and once it is selected, you just hold in Alt and click. So once you've held in Alt and click, you will see this very thing. The white shows what is selected and the black shows what is not selected. So we shall use the regular brush to remove that. So just hit B on your keyboard to activate the brush. Then you will change the blend mode of the brush from normal to overlay, right? Change it from normal to overlay. You can increase the size of the brush if you want. Then once you've changed it to overlay, what it does is that if you paint with black, it will enhance the shadows. If you paint with white, it will enhance the highlights, right? So I'll just want to paint with black to remove these very things that are outside. So I'll make sure that my hardness is at 0. Then I'll just paint. Look at that. If I just paint, it does away with that. So it leaves me with my selection, and this is very, very good. So I'll just do away with that, so that at least I only have the hair alone, just like that. Then I'll change the colors by hitting X. Then I will paint with white to just enhance the highlights, just like that. Just make sure that the hair is well selected and it is well seen. So these edges should also be well defined. So just paint with white on it, and it will be fine with you. By the way, if you are finding value in this video, please give me a like, and also share this video to your social media so that your friends can also have a look at it. This will help YouTube with ranking my videos in the search bar. So you can see once I've just painted that, it is looking pretty fine. And the thing I have now to do is, first of all, change the blend mode of the brush back to normal, because it will bring you some trouble some other time you want to use the brush. It will not work the way it should work. So just make sure that you change it back to normal before you exit this very place. So after that has been done, I'll just come back to my mask and and hold Alt, then click, and now look at that. This hair has been refined, and I can now put any background. You can see it has even defined the smallest details in the hair. And this is very perfect, my friend. This is one of the things that is so hard to many photographers when they want to change the background of their subject. And this took me time to learn, and I believe that through this tutorial you have learned something. And my friend, this is what I felt like sharing to you today, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. You can do other adjustments, maybe if you want to do, curves, if you want to do levels, if you want to do vibrance, just to make this image pop. If you want to do camera raw, that is upon you. But the basic thing that I wanted to show you is how to cut hair in Photoshop. So I believe that this tutorial has been so very much helpful to you, and if it was helpful to you, please remember to subscribe, and not only subscribe, ring that bell so that you, my friend, do not miss any future tips, tricks or tutorials. And I promised you, if you watch to the end of this video, I will make an announcement. And here comes an announcement. Attention, attention, attention. Now, I've been thinking, should I start another series on this channel? Because there are things that I learned from other creators, like Peter McKinney, like, Pixie Imperfect, like Benjamin from Ero Productions, and many other, people on YouTube. So I was feeling I set a series on Ero Productions where I'll be sharing with you what I learned from these very people. And I believe this will be very helpful to you. Maybe it will teach you something. Let me know what you think about in the comments below. So this is the announcement that I wanted to make, that I am planning to start a new series on Ero Productions where I'll be featuring great people and great creators on YouTube that have really changed my journey in YouTube. And I am believing that you are going to learn something from these people. So let me know how you feel about this, but then I've already made a decision. I'll try and make maybe one video, then see how it will pick up. And you know what? I'll make some other videos. And I believe this will have a positive impact to Ero Productions as well as to you as my subscriber. So guys, I want to wish you a very happy new year and a prosperous 2021. I believe that this year will be a year of a difference. I know we have passed through a lot in this very year, but then I believe everything that happens under the sun is under the control of the Almighty. So I believe everything will be fine. I wish you a happy new year in advance, and I hope I will see you in my next video. Peace.